are.
We are scientists.
We are researchers.
We are mathematicians.
We are engineers.
We are women in engineering.
We are problem solvers.
We are
collaborators.
We are friends. We are competitors.
We are community.
We are diverse.
We are driven.
We are confident.
We are adventurous.
We are curious.
We are dreamers.
We are fun.
We are volunteers.
We are leaders.
We are entrepreneurs.
We are student athletes.
We are rocket scientists.
We are
engineers.
Snowboarders.
We are safe.
We are sweet.
We are ship.
We are She is Emmy.
We are Goldie Craft.
We are resilient.
We are hopeful.
We are interdisciplinary.
We are inspiring.
We are CSE.
We are CSE.
We are CSE.
We are CSE.
We
Are
graduating.
Welcome, everybody. Please be seated. Thanks so much for being here, students in this room, people online watching. My name is Ben Brubaker, and I'm honored to be here as the head of the School of Mathematics. You know we're a school of mathematics, right? It's good to get this stuff straight before you graduate. We're a school, not a department. I'm so honored to witness this occasion. And I'm so happy that you are all here to participate in it with us. I want to first begin by thanking my colleagues and fellow professors, Marcus Keel, Craig Westerland, for joining me on this dais here and helping me out with the ceremony, as well as Dean Strakowski, who you'll hear from in a moment. I want to also thank all the staff who have worked so hard to put this together, all the staff from the college back there. Let's give them a big hand for putting this all together and making this all possible. So I'm here to kick things off, and I've been doing some research about graduation speeches, and I found out that, you know, the ideal graduation speaker should be given 13 minutes to give an appropriate address. And that's why I've been given 5 minutes to talk to you. Now, I think what I want to do in my last 4 minutes here is just to tell you one single anecdote, and I hope it sticks with you. So, a couple of weeks ago, I sat down with my family to watch this documentary called My Octopus Teacher. Anybody seen My Octopus Teacher? Show of hands. Only the photographer has seen My Octopus Teacher? What have you been doing? Graduating, I get it. Okay, well anyway, seek it out sometime, but let me tell you, it's about this daily routine of a filmmaker / diver as he snorkels every day in a reef to try and befriend an octopus. And, you know, the underwater cinematography is amazing because he's a cinematographer. The octopus is amazing. I mean, you probably know some facts about octopi already, right? You know that they can squirt ink when they're chased. You know they can regrow their tentacles when it gets bitten off. But the whole movie is all about these kind of amazing things that an octopus can do, like camouflage its skin to express a mood, or it can problem solve to catch prey, or like build an impromptu fortress out of shells when it's being attacked. And so the whole movie, you're just sort of growing in your appreciation and joy for like witnessing this complexity and consciousness of this amazing little animal, not unlike the way we love to explore the complexity of mathematics. But that's not my point. My point is that it's cutting away to this filmmaker / diver the entire time as he's telling us all the lessons he's learned. And the whole movie is building. It's building to this crescendo where he's telling us all these lessons he's learned until he gets to the one final lesson. And you know what the one final lesson that the octopus, his so-called teacher, has given him? It's basically the last line of the movie. So I couldn't find it online, but in my memory it goes something like this. The octopus taught me to feel that you're part of this place, not a visitor. And that's a huge difference. That's his takeaway from that whole experience. And that's my wish for you too. I know 4 years go so fast, and you may think this was just a short visit on the way to the next big thing, but I want to remind you that you are now part of this place. You belong here, to this community. And people who share a common cause with you to make the world a better place, people who support you and are rooting for you to succeed, they're all going to still be here. So I hope that can be a source of strength for you in this big, uncertain world that you're about to jump into. I hope you can do something meaningful and know that you've got this posse, all of us, at your back, ready to be there to support whatever you choose to do. So go do big things, and then come back and visit us and tell us all about it. Congratulations, everybody. Okay, I'm really excited to welcome our next speaker. He is none other than Associate Dean for Undergraduate Programs Paul Strakowski, who is also the George W. Taylor Distinguished Professor of Mechanical Engineering. When we thought about who we wanted to address you graduates, he was our very first choice. No pressure, Paul. So please, Paul.
So now he brings that up. So he gave himself 5 minutes. He gave me exactly 4. So I will do my level best. So I wanted to thank the math department. It was an honor. Math is, in some sense, in my heart. Yes, my degrees are in mechanical, but when I started college in 1977, my first degree plan was mathematics. Loved calculus. Linear algebra got to be a little weird, and then you got into your vector spaces and some weird stuff like that. And all I can say is I ran, but I absolutely acknowledge your brilliance. Absolutely acknowledge your brilliance. So I'm going to share with you today, begin my remarks with thoughts from a novel that I recently finished called The Four Winds. In this part of the world, the winds are predominantly from the west. In the winter, they come from the north and northwest, moving to the west in the spring and to the west-southwest in the summer, returning to the west as fall turns to winter and Earth completes its track around the sun. A process so embedded in our lives so as to proceed largely unnoticed. The novel, The Four Winds, is historical fiction surrounding the 1930s in the Central Plains of the United States, the Great Depression, the Dust Bowl, poverty, starvation, and stories highlighting how Americans didn't treat each other as they wished to be treated. The 1930s were very difficult years. The book describes those challenges through the lives of a single family as they migrate from the Texas Panhandle to California, surviving, but sometimes just barely. But the message was overwhelmingly positive and forward-looking. The winds of change in that time were the four winds, north, south, east, and west, bringing with them challenges, but new opportunities to grow in the human spirit. Your times at the University of Minnesota also carried the four winds, north, south, east, and west, particularly so these last 12 months, when the challenges came from every direction. Some days perhaps you felt isolated, but other days you realized you could solve some of society's most challenging problems, lead with a renewed sense of strength, or develop new ways of understanding yourself and how you fit into the larger world. Some days, I know it was true for me, I took steps backward. But on those others, you completed a race so exhilarating as to sustain you to this moment, the day you cross the stage and become a graduate of this great institution. You didn't just survive the westerly winds of the upper Midwest. You conquered the four winds. You see, the four winds have helped you form into the scholar, leader, builder, designer, and collaborator that you are today. No one can take away the badge of honor of being through 2020, 2021. It has given you new ways to see yourself, stripping away veneers that other generations before didn't have the opportunity to see. My parents were from the so-called greatest generation. I was in what they called baby boomers. And now we have all sorts of new, equally unfair buckets in which we put people. Millennials, Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z. Let me tell you something. There was never a single greatest generation, ever. Within every generation is greatness. I stand before you today, humbled by what you've accomplished. Within this room will be the next greatest generation. Do not be defined by labels. You have achieved so much in your young lives and have developed perhaps a perspective uniquely created by the challenges and opportunities these past 12 months, when the winds did indeed come from every direction. My father told me when I was your age that when you are old and leave this earth, you will be wise. You will have figured out who you are and why you were meant to walk this planet. Then he paused and looked at me, said, Paul, however, the key to life is to get wise before you get old. You've embarked on a journey through the College of Science and Engineering that brings you to the stage today with your friends for life, with a belief in yourself fortified by the challenges of the four winds. And you are wise. More than you know. The challenges you have faced these last 12 months have certainly changed you. You can't push them under a rug, but don't ever let them define you. Remember, as you walk forward, the four winds will not always be at your back, but when you face the wind head on, you breathe it in with all of your energy, and you'll be empowered by the wisdom it provides. Congratulations on your remarkable achievements.
Next, we're going to hear from two student speakers. The first student speaker is Monica Iram. Monica is math biology specialization, specifically in genomics. Monica, come on up.
Hi, everyone. In some ways, I feel like our class has been unlucky. We missed over a year of our traditional college experience. We lost the opportunity to celebrate our lasts, and we witnessed grave injustices within our own community. We dealt with uncertainty and isolation as a pandemic took over our lives. It's impossible for me to stand here today and act as if this is the commencement we've always imagined. But I still feel lucky. As a graduating class, we have faced unprecedented levels of adversity, but we matched the challenges with unprecedented levels of strength and resilience. We were courageous enough to continue to value our studies when the world was turned upside down. Some might say that we rose to the occasion, but I would argue that we've always had this motivation within us. After all, our undergraduate experience is defined by more than just COVID-19. Our roles on campus have impacted both the university and one another in many ways. We've all been a part of organizations, we've delved into research, we've worked together in groups, and we've befriended our classmates. Quarantine may have brought up feelings of loneliness and isolation and made us question whether or not our contributions as undergraduates have been significant. But whether it's inhabiting a specific corner of the math library or holding office hours as a TA, each one of us has made our mark within the School of Mathematics, and for that, we will be fondly remembered. As we don these gowns and walk across the stage today, it's obvious what we've accomplished. We're graduating. But this major achievement is composed of many smaller successes. We all passed physics. We all survived the sweltering heat of Vincent Hall. We made it past the bad grades, and we completed our undergraduate education virtually. All of these may seem small, but these accomplishments are significant nonetheless. Each of us has likely doubted our abilities at some point over the last few years. Wondered if our proudest moments were manifestations of our talent or of just pure luck. But this culmination of victories that brought us here today is tangible evidence that we are deserving of our own accolades. We have always been capable, and we will continue to do wonderful things in the world. In the adventures that follow, we may find ourselves once again feeling like frauds. Should this be the case, I urge you to let our history of exemplary perseverance and success give you confidence in your endeavors. To accept the fact that we have earned our positions as mathematicians, educators, actuaries, graduate students, or wherever else we're headed next. Class of 2021, I wish you all the best as we enter the next chapter of our lives and continue to make our own luck.
Thanks, Monica. Thanks for addressing some of the challenges we've faced over the last year head on, especially that heat in Vincent Hall. That is real. Sauna-like temperatures. Our next speaker is Mariah Elkin. I was lucky enough to see Mariah give her senior honors thesis defense last week, so I know we're in for another treat. Mariah, please come up.
I'd like to read you a poem that I think really embodies mathematics. This is Number Theory by Rosanna Warren, published in The New Yorker in March 2021. The 4.5-foot black-backed rat snake swayed up and across the kitchen screen door, seeking a way in. Encountering instead our eyes, it slowly, deliberately withdrew to slide across the stone porch, over the wall and along the foundation, inspecting every crevice, feeling, nosing, listening its way toward a solution, which it found around the corner, up the back flagstone steps, where it squeezed its impossible length and girth, inch by patterned inch, into the crack beneath the topmost slate. So we know we're living with a patient companion, like you, inquisitive. You sit taut in your chair, whispering as you probe the gaps between prime numbers until infinity. It's pattern you seek, the opening through which your thought will glide suddenly into a lit space and be at home, in a shaky house where wasps gnaw the walls. Was anybody surprised when I said I'd read a poem about math and started describing a 4.5-foot black-backed rat snake? I know when I showed this poem to my mom, her first reaction was, ugh. There is a point to this. I think it might be a universal math major experience to have someone ask what your major is and immediately get a similarly disgusted reaction. People tend to think that math is either dull or completely impenetrable. But we mathematicians looked beneath the surface of rote calculations and saw that the best parts of math are exciting and fun and as creative as poetry, just in a different way. We have, quote, sat taut in our chairs, watching a proof take shape on a blackboard or trying to find one ourselves, fascinated by the innovation required to deduce something powerful from something mundane. Warren says, it's pattern you seek. Math is all about finding hidden connections between seemingly disparate things, about gaining fluency in layers of abstraction one at a time until it seems obvious that the concepts that looked so disconnected at first were always deeply related. They had to have been. Think about something as basic as the fundamental theorem of calculus. A priori, who would have thought that area had anything to do with slope? This ability we've developed to search for subtle patterns and even subtler explanations will serve us well, and not only in the beautiful world of math where no pattern is really a coincidence. It takes patience and curiosity to, quote, probe the gaps between prime numbers. It takes persistence and openness to surprises to pursue an idea beyond an initial impression of that could never work, or maybe an initial impression of ugh. My favorite line of Warren's poem, though, describes not the joy we find during the long process of mathematical discovery, but the exhilarating feeling of accomplishment at its end, similar to the excitement of the journey's end we're celebrating right now. We have spent these years of mathematical learning in search of small, quote, openings through which our thought will glide suddenly into a lit space and be at home. And solving a difficult problem really does feel like nosing around, contorting your mind like a snake until you find a crack to squeeze through, and you begin to see how everything fits together, and you feel like you've come home. It's strange and surprising that finding a solution feels so intrinsically right, like it was meant to be that way. The real world doesn't work like that. But it's a beautiful culmination to a difficult process, and I'm glad we've been given opportunities to experience it during our time at the University of Minnesota. I don't want to end without addressing the last line of the poem, addressing the uncertainty of living and doing math, quote, in a shaky house where wasps gnaw the walls. All the emphasis on unexpected connections can sometimes make the process of learning and discovering math scary. Maybe it's 2 a.m. and there's a difficult homework problem due the next day that you feel you've made no progress in solving. Maybe you're studying a research question with no guarantee that you're approaching it at a productive angle or even that an answer exists at all. And maybe now you're graduating, moving forward into the world, and that's exciting, but a bit scary and uncertain too, especially this year in particular. Right now, we are ending our work on one question, undergrad, and feeling all the satisfaction that comes with triumph. And we are also beginning another unpredictable journey. And like a math problem, the best path might not be immediately obvious or easy to follow. But we already know what it's like to conquer difficult questions with creativity and persistence, to rely on the belief that a solution is out there somewhere. We maybe just haven't noticed the pattern yet. And we also know that there can be many paths to success, and seeing wildly different approaches is part of the beauty of it all. So, yes, sometimes the house will feel shaky going forward, but we already know how to work in a shaky house. Our experiences as math majors will be part of us forever, and because of them, we are prepared for whatever lies ahead. Thank you.
Okay, thanks to both our student speakers. And now we're going to move on to the calling of the graduate names. So I want to explain to you how this is going to work. First, our professional voice talent, Professor Craig Westerland, will be over there reading your names. Dean Strakowski and I will be up here on the X's. And Professor Keel, can I ask you to hand out the letters from the math department to the graduates as they cross the stage? So the plan is this. You're going to be dismissed by rows to cross the stage, and we'll ask you to do as usual and maintain 6 feet of social distance between you and the next student in line, and you can use these floor markers as your guides. So your mask should be worn at all times, and when you reach that first table over there, you're going to place your placard, your name card, face up on the table, and the voice talent will read your name. And as you get on stage, your name will be read, and you stand on this X right in front of me and face the crowd, and we'll take your photo. And then after you get that picture taken, follow these green arrows down the long chute there where you'll get 3 more photos taken at the end of the line. Okay, volunteers will help you at the end of that process to direct you back to your seat. Mark, do you have a program announcement? Yes, thank you for emphasizing that. You can take your mask off for those pictures down that way. Okay? So Professor Westerlin will begin by reading the names of the virtual attendees.
That's correct. Congratulations, everyone. So the virtual attendees, congratulations in particular to you. We have Jameson Auger, Nathan Breezy, Bridget Ruth Carpenter, Terrence J. Gray, Tala Olafina Hackbarth, Brandon Christopher Colstow, Alan David Koval, Yiyang Lee, Julia Elizabeth Lingo, Ethan Mangerson, Anna Odushkin, Zurtian Chan, Yush Wali, Yu Wan, and Sichi Wen. Ryan William Alexander. Will Bent. Nathan Bixby. Jacob Robert Borjan. Zachary Diamond. Matthew Doberstein. Neil Thomas Dooley. Mariah Hannah Elkin. Yarin Ayusada. Teresa Lynn Fisher. Vinci Gay. Spencer John Grzinsich. Jackson Hampton. Monica Nicole Iram. Rebecca Ligelum. Melissa Loken. Han Lu. David Ma. Michael Robert Markowitz. Anya Shreya Mukherjee. Sydney Otten. Deborah Rodriguez. Ethan Roverud. Ashmita Sarma. Summer Sidlecki. Rory Scott Spanier. Delana I. Doe. Samantha Stodick. Henry Twiss. Lauren Verholst. Kostab Vermuth. Ethan Douglas Vick. Olivia Wist. Cole Mark Diego Wyeth. Chen Yu. And Cullen Zimmer.
Let's give one last round of applause for all the graduates. And now I'd like to introduce Regent Powell via video, who will be formally conferring the degree.
Greetings, graduates and families, faculty and staff, distinguished guests, everyone joining us. I am honored to preside at this commencement on behalf of the University of Minnesota Board of Regents. To the graduates, I extend congratulations. Through your talent, hard work, and determination, you have earned this day of recognition. We not only celebrate your academic accomplishments, but also the potential you have to make a positive difference in the next stage of your lives. You'll be contributing to your communities, the state of Minnesota, the nation, and even the world. To all the family and friends joining from near and far, thank you for the countless ways you've supported these students as they earned their academic degrees. In keeping with commencement tradition, will the graduates please rise as they are able? Upon the recommendation of the faculty, and by the authority of the regents, I now confer upon you the degrees for which you have qualified. Congratulations to every single one of you.
You may be seated. Next, I'd like to show you a video of some of the math faculty who couldn't be here today, but wanted to wish you congratulations on this occasion.
Greetings, class of 2021.
The faculty and staff of the School of Mathematics send you congratulations on the occasion of your graduation.
We're excited to see where your degree takes you.
And we wish we could be with you in person to celebrate your success.
But like so many aspects of the last year, we're going to have to make do virtually.
We want to congratulate you on your resilience.
Even in the best of times, a major in mathematics can be a difficult endeavor.
And these have certainly not been the best of times.
You should take pride in your success in the face of all the challenges of the past year.
Whether your time here has focused on geometry,
or data science, on algebra,
or mathematical biology,
on actuarial studies or analysis.
We hope that you've loved the beauty of what you've learned,
and are excited to continue learning and using mathematics in the years that come.
As a graduate in mathematics, I hope you'll continue to apply the standard of analysis of logical arguments that you have been taught.
Think about all the time that you struggled to understand something and it finally clicked. We wanted to share both of those with you. Less so the struggle, more the click.
Remember how hard-earned simple understanding can be.
I hope you'll continue to enjoy the joy of discovery.
To ask and answer questions because you're curious about them.
I hope you'll remember what first excited you about math and continue to seek out that excitement and joy.
If I could sum up my advice to you in one phrase, it would be, find your strengths.
Whatever you end up doing, whether it involves more formal mathematics or not,
I hope you'll continue to use the critical and rational thinking skills you've learned here with us
to tackle the important challenges facing the world today.
I hope that you've come to view Vincent Hall and these virtual substitutes as your mathematical home.
You think about your experience here. I hope you think about all the people you work with, all the places you work, and all the places in the world you thought about bringing your mathematics.
I want to congratulate the math majors in the class of 2021 at the University of Minnesota.
Keep up the good work and keep a sense of humor.
And I hope that you'll come back to visit us and tell us about your new adventures.
Congratulations, graduates.
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 That's it. All there is left for me to do is congratulate you one more time, to thank you again for your time and your energy today and over the last 4 years. Congratulations, everybody. Okay, for dismissal, we'll open up these gates this way and we'll release you row by row. So we'll proceed from the front row, exiting out these doors. And we'll be out there to wish you congratulations in the most socially responsible, distanced way we know how. Thanks again for being here.